My will manifest!
Die, die, die!
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you one of my favourite builds that was gutted quite a while back, but I have now revitalized and rebuilt and upgraded to basically sweep the whole entirety of the endgame in Stranger of Paradise. This will breeze through the floors in the labyrinth, and once you hit floor 100 you can make it even stronger, which is how I'm going to show it in this video. So don't worry if you're not at floor 100 yet, the build will work perfectly fine even on the lower floors, under floor 100 that is, and it will sweep all the way up to as high a floor as you can go, because I have built around the labyrinth in mind, I have built around all the other content in mind, so this will sweep everything. So yeah, let's get in. So Cyclic Warrior, basically, just a quick rundown. You get to use one of 4 elemental attacks like the Darkness Manifest boss, and every time you use one it will reduce your maximum MP. However, that won't be an issue because we have a lot of ways of increasing our MP. Now you will want to use Primal Warrior here, because Primal Warrior will activate Lightbringer every time you use an ability, which is god tier for this. We want Lightbringer, we do not want 𝐫𝐞𝐪𝐮𝐢𝐫𝐤 like the old build would have used, because if you didn't know, in DLC 2, 𝐫𝐞𝐪𝐿 and Cyclic Warrior were heavily nerfed, but, you know, we've built around not using 𝐫𝐞𝐪𝐿 and making the job equally as good. So we're going to be using Lightbringer. Now, getting into the job affinities, you will want the 600% for Cyclic Warrior, because basically it's going to make all of those Lightbringer procs activate Soul Shield procs as well. So every single skill in the build that activates on a Soul Shield will activate on Lightbringer now, which is insane. So just to quickly clear up the rest of the job, nothing else here matters, honestly. It's just the 600% that you need, and the 600% will obviously activate Soul Shield stuff on Lightbringer. The rest of it just comes for free, which is really nice for stats actually, so that's good. Next up I have Paladin at 400%. The reason why I have this is for the Dragon Trials. Basically, you know, they get pretty brutal with the debuffs, so what Paladin does is it acts as the ribbon, and it will grant immunity to all status ailments. On top of that, we'll also heal while in Lightbringer, and we're always going to be in Lightbringer, so that's really good. And then you get a few extra bonuses and stats on top of that. Then we have Black Mage at 400%. Now this one is mandatory, you will need this. For content outside of Labyrinth, you probably don't need Paladin, but everywhere that you use this build, you will want Black Mage. Now the reason for this is because we increase MP limit based on magic damage dealt. Now because we do so much damage, we get a lot of MP limit, which is really good, because normally what Cyclic Warrior does is take away your MP limit, but this will basically bring that back for free. We also gain an Intellect bonus, which is just free damage, and we also get magic break damage for free. So this is a really good job to spec into. Highly recommend. Next up we have Dark Knight at 400%, which is going to trigger all of our near-death abilities at all times. You get a little bit of that in here for free, but the rest of it you will have to spec into your armor, which I have done a little bit, and also mastery points, so definitely go for that. But I'll get into that after the jobs. So yeah. Then I have High Summoner at 400%. The reason for this is literally what you see right now. Successful Soul Shield will increase duration of active buffs. So every time we activate Lightbringer, we're going to also increase the duration of our buffs that are currently active. The rest of Summoner doesn't matter though, it's just here for stats. Then we have Void Knight at 250%, which is going to increase the potency of MP recovery effects, and that does include Black Mage, which is really, really nice. And it will also affect the MP limit bonus from the rest of Void Knight itself, and it will also increase any abilities you have on your armor and the mastery points that are focused around recovering MP, and that does include Summon Blessings as well. So This is a god tier job to have in here. Definitely, you will need basically 250% Void Knight, or else the build will fail. So 100% have this in here. And then finally, I have Sage, which is basically going to restore MP as well with successful soul shields, which, of course, is going to be Lightbringer as well. And that will be increased a little bit further than what it says because of Void Knight as well. So that's really good. Now, for the actual upgrades on your gear, you can kind of go with whatever you like. I recommend Soul Shield MP recovery 100%, because that just means that every time you Lightbringer, you're going to get more MP. Definitely have Soul of Chaos to increase damage. And the rest is honestly up to you. Intellect's good, Spirit's good, near-death damage dealt is good, during Lightbringer damage dealt is good, improving the effects of your command abilities is good, and the duration is good. So, yeah, you could play around with that a little bit. I'll just run through all of my gear here so you can see what I have. It's not all perfect yet, but it's pretty decent, so that's what I have in here. Now for the accessory. You will just want to go for the same things as the rest of the armor, but I do recommend having one of the primary blessings in here. I have Odin, which isn't too helpful on this build, but it will make every enemy weak to attacks if I get Odin's blessing to activate. However, I do recommend having Bahamut instead of Odin, and then using Leviathan as the primary blessing. Or you could use Bahamut as the primary blessing, and then Leviathan as the accessory blessing. So it's up to you, but yeah. On top of that, you definitely want Invincible in here. Invincible is basically you become invincible when you've got Lightbringer active. So, you know, while we're using our abilities and Lightbringer's constantly being used up and reactivated, we're completely invulnerable. Enemies cannot damage us. They'll only damage the Lightbringer, but because we're attacking so frequently, Lightbringer is never going to run out. So we are completely invulnerable forever. Now, you will need the Lionheart for this. You can get this from Gilgamesh in the Rift. But also, you could swap out Paladin for a ribbon and then throw in Knight 400 instead of Paladin if you want to get invincible that way. So, yeah. Now, for the command abilities, we have Lancet, Lunatic, and Summon Tachi. You will need all of these. Normally, I would recommend Mighty Strikes, but that only works with physical damage. And, of course, this job does not do physical damage. So, we have Summon Tachi just to increase the damage we deal. It normally would increase the damage taken, but we don't take any damage, so that doesn't matter. Lunatic is going to make our spells go faster, so we can, you know, use our abilities faster. And then Lancer is going to recover HP and MP whenever we exploit an enemy's weakness. Now, Odin will definitely help out with that, but also Cyclic Warrior just automatically weakens enemies to the ability that you use against them anyway. So if we use Earthquake enough, they're going to become weak to it, and then Lancer can do its magic. So that's that for that. Now, Lightbringer here, Chaosbringer, Dimensionbringer, none of this matters. You don't need to really care about any of this. You're not going to be manually using this anyway, so don't worry about that. Now, as for the Blessing, again, I did mention that earlier, but you will want to use either Leviathan or Bahamut. Bahamut is going to stack with an ult job as well if you decide to activate that over there. But basically what it does is it will increase all of your stats up to 20 times on a successful Soul Shield, which is going to happen on Lightbringer as well, which is why it's really good. Now, the only reason I recommend Leviathan as well is because it's going to increase your MP recovery and max MP gained on a successful Soul Shield, which is Lightbringer. So pick your poison, really. You could either boost all your stats or spam more. It's up to you. Okay, since it's getting long, I'm just going to run through the ult job. Basically, you just want to spec into chain cancelling and MP recovery from Lightbringer as well. Basically, it's going to be very similar to what we had in our main job, except we've just got a few extra things here, like haste, so I can chain cancel faster. Reducing the cost of command abilities, because this is where you want to be using the command abilities. Evoker to regen MP. We have Gambler to get MP back when performing a chain cancel as well. We also get a little bit of damage when we use a chain cancel, and we also get to use our action abilities less. And yeah, that's pretty much it for jobs. Basically just helping out chain cancelling and getting MP. As for the gear, again, you just want MP cost and whatnot. You want Soul Shield, Spirit, Action Ability, all the things to just help you buff. Since this job is purely here to get max MP ready for fights, and to buff, basically, to use your command abilities. This way you want to be using them. This way you want to use Bahamut as well, 100%. So you could spam Lightbringer over and over and over and over and over, up to 20 times, and then just regen the MP anyway from chain cancelling. I also have a ribbon here, since I haven't spec'd into Paladin, of course. So yeah, that's all the ult job is for. You'll probably see that in gameplay anyway, just me chain cancelling to get MP ready for Cyclic Warrior, since off the spawn, you can't use Cyclic Warrior. You have to get 3 bars at least. So that's why we have chain cancelling, so we can get those bars instantly, and then go crazy with Cyclic Warrior. Finally, mastery points. So just going to quick rundown. You just copy these. Obviously, this is the level 300 version. So, you know, if you're not level 300 yet, just appoint these accordingly. It's not perfect, but kind of just what I've run with. So that's Cyclic Warrior. And then for Tyrant, we have these. And that's it for the video. So, hopefully you enjoyed the build. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay. I probably had a little bit of gameplay at the start too, and I will definitely have gameplay at the end here. Let me know what you think, of course. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Adios.